Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how I Frankenplannered my planner. This is the coil that I want to use, and this is the cover that I'm going to use instead of the Luxe planner. Of course, Luxe is unremovable, so I have to uncoil. I'm going to need pliers, and I use the latex glove, but you can generally use anything that's going to be soft. You can even use like a thin fabric or wrap washi tape around the pliers. I just found this to be extremely soft. It is quite a challenge. I guess you could wrap it up on the plier using tape, but I winged it during the uncoiling, and I'm just showing you how I basically use that to grip the coil. Alright, so these are things I'm going to add in. It's the May and June of this year, because I can't wait, obviously. And this is the folder from the Colorful that I'm going to add in. And these are the colorful pages that I like, that I want to add into the neutral that I have. And this is a dashboard, the travel dashboard, I believe it is. I found it to be taller. These two are taller than the Luxe covers, so I really wanted to switch out into the vintage floral removable cover that I have. So first thing, going to place the latex glove over the pliers. You could also place it over the coil itself, and I'm basically going to grab the bent side and twist it out using just my wrist. So there it is, it's flattened out. Some of them are good and they don't need any more adjusting, and this one was very flat. And so I try to twist it out, and if it goes, I just keep going. Sometimes you'll find that it kind of sticks. And you have to be careful, that top part, you have to like pull it up a little bit. And if it sticks, that means that the coil is not as round as it should be, and maybe you want to play around with it, but make sure you use the washi tape or the latex glove to adjust the coil with the pliers. So now the coil is out, no damage to the coil at all. I guess if you uncoil using the same coil maybe like 5 or 6 times, you might find some damage to the coil. So this is the Neutral Vertical. I like a lot of pages in it, but there is one spread that I really wanted from the Colorful, which is this one. I just really like how it looks in the Colorful, and so what I'm going to do here is glue the pages from the Colorful onto these pages, because if you replace them, the back of these pages have color on them, and it's not going to be consistent. So I decided to glue them, and so what I use is this glue stick, and I find that this glue stick it doesn't clunk up under the page, and so like versus like you using liquid glue or something like that, it'll clunk up the page and it won't be flat. And so what I recommend you doing in order to use the glue stick is to go around the edges first. So I went ahead and grabbed like a piece of something you can throw out after that you don't mind getting glue stick on, like a piece of printing paper or a large piece of paper, preferably larger than the actual page. So I think I got like a printing paper or something like that, and you put it on because you're going to glue stick the edges first, and use kind of like soft motions or strokes, because the glue stick can clump up, and then you try to remove it with your hand, and then your hand gets all clumpy, and you touch another page, and then this glue stick happens to be purple. I don't know why, but you'll like mess up the color of another page, and we don't want that. I tend to obsess over little like blemishes that I do on my pages, and I hate myself for it after, so I tried my best not to get anything anywhere. So I don't know if anyone's gonna do this. I wanted to, and I thought I'd show you, or at least give you an idea of you know, if you wanted to try this. You could also just kind of replace everything. If you replace just the entire page, just take the black one out and put the colorful one in, but I thought this was the best way to avoid any inconsistencies with the other pages, the format of the other pages. And so you just line it up carefully. You know, it's glue stick, so it's not extremely permanent. It'll dry up and it'll just go back to being a normal page with some purple on it. Just line it up, and then once you think you've lined up everything well, Of course, I'm readjusting here just because I felt like it wasn't on right. Then you can press on the page, preferably with no rings on. See, I had rings on, and I think I got like a scratch on one of the pages, and it like annoyed me so much. But this way, if you don't have any rings on or anything that will scratch the page, just kind of press your hand into it. You may find that if you flip the pages afterwards, like after you're done with this whole process and you come to flip the page when you're using the planner, it may come off just because the glue stick it's not so permanent, and so it may come off, but you can just use the glue stick and adjust it. Again, it's really no big deal, and it doesn't always come off, every time you use your planner, just maybe once or twice. And so I did the same thing here. This time I kept the page underneath and moved it a lot. And I got a little clump there because it went too fast, and so I just removed it with like a Metro card that I had lying around. So again, I'm lining them up. And making sure that it's completely over each other. I think the pages are generally the same size. Maybe it's a little bit off sometimes, but these pages are generally the same size. And there you go. I think that's when I noticed my ring scratched one of the pages. But yeah, I think it looks great. I like that spread. I think it goes well with the neutral. So next, I'm going to add the May and June. So what I did was I actually have a colorful now. So you see Painted Petals Colorful Vertical, and I took the May tab from a black neutral from a neutral planner that I had, and I attached it on just because I want my tabs to all be black. And so it looks, in my opinion, it looks hideous because I ripped the tab off the colorful and just the entire page came off. So I just used washi tape to cover up the damage that I did. In Woven Wonder, so it's kind of like a Woven Wonder Painted Petals neutral colorful mashup, which, I mean, I hate things that are not like that matching. But I didn't mind because I really want to use this planner now, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna suck this up and just put a Woven Wonder stamp on it, and that'll be that. And then, afterwards, maybe in July or August, I can take out the May and June pages and stick them in my other planner that I just finished, the colorful, and just stick them back in there. So my planners are, because I like to use it right away, my planners are always going to be a little interesting when you open them up. The themes are all mixed up. Alright, so there. So that's May. Of course, June, I'm not going to use from my current planner. I'm actually going to take the June from the back of this planner. So it'll be the June that's June 2019. So the dates are off. They're one day off, I believe. But I don't use this June because the planners come out and I really want to use them right away. And I just never end up using that June. So when I buy the planner at launch next year, I'll do the same thing. I'll take the June from the end of that planner and put it in the beginning of this planner. Just because I didn't have a neutral June tab. So I was like, let me just take the June from the back because I'm not going to use it. Yeah, so the month is going to be interesting because I don't really like to cover, I don't like those date dots. So I think I might take the colorful month and kind of glue it on this spread. So instead of having June 2019 and using like date dots or something, I might just put the June month on top of that. But I hadn't decided at this point, and so I just kind of left it out, but I think ultimately that's what I'm going to do. So I'm taking away the Luxe cover because I don't want that cover. I'm not going to coil that back in. And actually, I think after I go through the planner, I noticed that I want to remove this folder. Yeah. I don't really get this color scheme. I like the rose gold and pink, but I feel like this color is so much, I don't know, it makes sense because the color, the planner has these colors in them. It's colorful, even the neutral pages, some of them have color in it, and it's a rainbow, so I don't know why she just chose the rose gold and black for the neutral, but I guess because it's neutral. And here I was playing around. Should I put the folder in the front? Should I put it in the middle? Should I put it in the back? I think I ultimately chose to put it in the back just because I'm used to that, and I'm used to having the folder in the back, and I didn't want to make a decision before I tried it, because I don't like ripping the folder out, because I feel like if I rip the folder out, if I put any papers in it, it'll get weighed down, and then when I turn the page, the folder will like come out or something like that, you know. And I don't like using the coil clips very much because they make the planner bulky, and I don't know, I don't like a lot of things in my planner, like bulking the planner up. So ultimately, I chose to put it in the back. I was gonna put it before one of the months, but I felt like that was random. So I was like, no, let me not do that. Yeah. So I think I've come to the decision finally. I'm gonna put that in the back. Now what I recommend you doing is making sure you know what you want to put in your planner and the order you want to place it in, just so that when you uncoil and recoil it, everything gets kind of hectic and you have things all over the place, pliers and scissors and stuff like that. So it helps if you have like a layout, a plan of how many pages you're going to add in, what you're going to put where, and kind of make all your decisions before you uncoil and recoil. Just because it tends to get confusing, and here I'm just taking a minute to just decide, like, should I put more pages in and then rip them out if I don't want to? I would err on the side of that. Like, if you think that you're gonna need more pages, just put in a lot of pages. If the coil is big enough, that way, if you don't want them, you can just rip them out and you won't use them. The worst thing is that you'll just rip them out, which causes really no harm. It's better than uncoiling and recoiling to add in more. So if your coil can handle it, that's what I would do. All right. So finally, I take out the folder, and I put it in the back. And now I've added everything I wanted to in. Also, I should mention that you should take out any, like, if you have any bookmarks inside the planner, or anything that's coiled or snapped in with the coil, take it out, because it'll obstruct the coil when you're recoiling or uncoiling. So just make sure that you're coiling just the planner pages. Take off anything that could be snapped in. Alright, so for this part, to recoil, some people use planner clips to kind of keep the pages together. I don't, and this planner is new, so the coil really just went in on its own, and it gave me a little resistance. Like, I had a little trouble doing it, but it was, every time I used a planner clip, like one of those big black clips, it ruins my page. Like, any part I clip it in, it either bends it in, or just it damages my planner. And I guess I could put a piece of paper on it or something to protect it before I put the planner clip, but this is just so much easier for me. You know, like, okay, it moves a little bit, and you know, I don't really mind that. Here I just sped it up a little bit. Make sure you go slow, because the first part of that coil could be sharp sometimes, and it could rip the planner pages if you're not careful. But generally, if you're uncoiling and recoiling a new planner, the pages are all like, they're not used and they're like crisp, so it's not hard to get everything to line up. And then just kind of coil it in. It should go easier, you know, the more you get to the top, because everything's lining up. Yeah, this is an easy process actually. I think the first or second time I did it, I did not care about the coil at all, and I just took whatever plier. I don't even think I used pliers. I might have used like that. It's something that looks like a wrench I have at home. I don't know, but it moves. Like, maybe it's a plier, but it's not the small, you know, petite pliers. It's like a huge plier that's used for, like, you know, cars or something, and I used it for this and I didn't care. But now that I care about the coil a little bit more, I got a smaller coil, a smaller plier. And make sure you kind of lift the end of that up, because it could ruin your pages. So just go very slowly and anticipate, you know, anything getting stuck. Slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Alright, now here I go back to the latex glove. It was too big, so I just cut it. And I'm trying to figure out a way to put this on the plier so that I won't damage the coil. What I recommend here, and what I figured out a little bit later, is that if you put the latex glove on the actual coil. Like just place it on the coil and then place the plier over the latex glove. I do that, and I'll point it out when I do it, but this just took way too long and it kept moving, but finally I got it on. And once you get it on, bend your wrist just slowly inwards, just kind of putting it back in place. And so you'll notice that the point of that is actually pointing in towards the planner pages, towards the spine of the planner. And so what you want to do is kind of bend that. It's in a different plane, so you just want to bend that in slightly. So place the latex over it, that's the easiest way. And then just using your wrist, just bend it a little bit in. Very, very small motions, and there you go. It didn't snap off, it didn't break, it didn't even scratch. And it's perfect. Like I opened the planner to check it out, and there wasn't any obstruction to the turning of the pages or anything weird like that, because that's happened to me before. But if you go very slow, you make less drastic, like you don't ruin the coil as drastically as you would if you were to go really fast. So a little bend versus a huge bend that you basically can't undo, and then you'll have to like snap that part of the coil off. And the coils seem to bend a little bit more nowadays. I mean, in the new planners nowadays. So they seem pretty flexible. So this is, I'm showing you the inside of the Frankenplanner. See, colorful. And then this page, which I love. And then this weird makeshift thing. This weird whack month. And then the June for this year, which I'm gonna cover the dates for. I think I pretty much decided I'm gonna glue the 2018 onto that one. Like I told you, I really like the months and the colorful. I wish they kept this layout with the neutral, but whatever. I like it anyways. And here the days, I was trying to figure out what the days were gonna look like, and so they're just one day off. I think I'm just gonna either use the day as it is or just cover it up with the date covers. And just flip through the planner. I like how it turned out pretty much. It's not a huge change, but it was really important to me to change out that cover. I mean the folder, because I just think this color makes a lot more sense. I love the rose gold metallic. Don't get me wrong, but I like this cover. Like the Woven Wonder in this colorful is just everything to me. I love it. Yeah, that's it. And these are the dashboards that I wanted to try, and they just work so much better with the interchangeable covers because they're the same size. And I basically put them right on top of the back cover because they're the same size. I don't like anything sticking out much. And so with the Luxe cover, it just sticks out so much. And that kind of annoyed me. And so I thought I'd try this. And I like how it turned out. So I hope you guys got some ideas. I hope I helped you out with the coil. Thank you for watching. Bye.